Alright, so this is the lecture on the informative speech, which is your next speech. So, for our first speech, the Any Old Bag speech, the time was 3 to 5 minutes long. This time will be 5 to 7 minutes long. Like I explained last time, I give a 30-second grace period, so if you get 4 minutes, 30 seconds, you're good. 7 minutes, 30 seconds, you're good. But you will get points off for too little time or too much time. So let's aim for 5 to 7 minutes long. A good way to do that is to practice your speech a bunch and to time yourself. So the purpose of your informative speech. It is to explain or describe a process, idea, person, object, theory, issue, or even a problem in an interesting manner. For this one, 3 sources must be verbally cited and cited in your preparation outline. If you do not know how to in-text cite and do a works cited, please refer to the handout in the video I have made on this. It's in the content tab. I know the handout is at least called like the citation cheat sheet handout, something like that. Verbally cited, to verbally cite something. Let's say you had a quote and you're like, this website said in their article, then you would enter in the quote. That's how you verbally cite. You say where your information is from. So, informative speaking is the sharing of knowledge to create meaning. So we are sharing knowledge with each other and trying to come to an understanding of a shared meaning. Informative speeches provide the audience with 2 things. First, new and important information. So we're not telling people what they already know, like the sky is blue. And it's going to be important information. So we're not giving a informative speech on something that is not worth people's time. Could you do an informative speech on a hobby of yours? Yes, that is worth people's time. But you want to make it new and important information. Or you provide the audience with a new understanding of a topic. So you either make your topic something new and important, or you take a already done topic and give it a new understanding. A good example of this is like drunk driving. A lot of people do informative speeches on how drunk driving is bad. We all know it's bad. It's important, but it's not anything new. And a lot of people do the same speech over and over and over again. If you want to do something like drunk driving, that is an overdone one, do a new kind of perspective on it, give a new understanding on that topic, add something new. So for our informative speech, we want it to be interesting, we want it to be new information, or we want it to be a new understanding of information. If you have a topic in mind and you are not 100% sure if it falls within these guidelines, please email me and let me know. So, the specific purpose determines your success. What this means is our specific purpose. So, for an informative speech, it would be to inform my audience. It's important. It is important. It will help guide your speech to success. So, for informative speeches, your goal is for the audience to learn. Whatever topic you're doing it on, your specific purpose, your goal is to have the audience learn more about that topic. You should also ask for attention and willingness to learn from your audience. So you want to grab their attention and you want to ask them. You could ask straight out, you could ask indirect. For their attention and willingness to learn, you want people to learn, so they need to be open to learning. And then what's really important is that for an informative speech, you need to be a teacher, not advocate. We are not taking a stance on something and informing people about that. We're instead teaching people about something. So our persuasive speech will be more advocating, persuading. Right now, we are just teaching. We want people to learn. We're asking people to learn. And then we're giving them something to learn. So, supporting materials. Since we have 3 citations for this, it's important to go over supporting material. Evidence, or our citations, will help build credibility and agreement for the audience. So, the audience is not likely to just believe you. They'll take your word for most things, but they're not going to fully buy into and pay attention and believe what you say unless you have evidence. Evidence will build your credibility, and that's why we need it. So there's 4 basic types of informative speeches. So there's object, process, event, and concept. A process informative speech is on anything that is visible, tangible, and stable in form. So this would mean this. I could give an informative speech on a succulent because it is a tangible object. I can touch it, I can see it, I can think about it, and it is a thing. It is a real thing. You could also give one on process. Process informative speech is about a systematic series of actions that leads to a specific result or product. So a process could be, it's like that one show, it's like how something is made, how food is made, and they show you the whole process behind it. Giving a speech would be similar to that. You take something that is made, and you would give a speech on how it's made. You could do peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I do not do that, but you could do one. That would be a process informative speech. Then you have event informative speeches. That is on anything that has happened, or is happening currently, something that has occurred. That would be like a graduation or like a concert, something that occurs. That is an event. Then we have a concept informative speech. Concept is a belief, theory, idea, notion, principle, or the like. So you talk about like a theory, like probably not a conspiracy theory, because we're trying to stay away from things that are not proven to be true. But maybe, I'm trying to think of a good theory. Mean world syndrome. That is a theory that, or it's kind of more of a real thing, but it's kind of a theory that people see what they see on TV and social media, and it's all bad things, and so they think the world is bad. So you could talk about different theories, principles, ideas, beliefs, religious beliefs. I would stay kind of away from that unless you want to give a new look on a religious belief, because that is very much overdone as well. But yeah. So informative speech about an object. Here's a good example. To inform, this is your specific purpose, to inform my audience about the major achievements of Frederick Douglass. Is about an object. In the categorization, people are objects. This is one that one of the textbooks I have gives. Not a great example for object, but people do count, so you can do celebrities. Thesis statement. Although born in slavery, Frederick Douglass became one of the greatest African American activists in history. So your specific purpose is to inform, and it's about your goal. Thesis statement is what you're talking about. About a process, our example is to inform my audience on how a batik fabric is printed. The thesis statement is there are 4 basic steps in printing batik fabric: designing, applying the wax, dyeing, and removing the wax. So it kind of gives more about the process. Then event, to inform my audience about the history of the disability rights movement. That's your goal. Then your thesis statement, the disability rights movement has made major strides during the past 30 years. So that's your thesis. And then lastly, informative speech about a concept. The specific purpose is to inform my audience about the different philosophies of homeschooling. Thesis statement: approaches to homeschooling include the classic model, the Charlotte Mason model, the Montessori model, and the unschooling model. So yeah, those are the examples. Then guidelines for informative speaking. First, don't overestimate what the audience knows. If you are giving an informative speech on something that you know well, you're going to know all the niche lingo and terms. Your audience is probably not going to know. So make sure you explain things or make things simple so the audience can, stay with you on certain things. I also would not do something that you know and really, really, really like, because you might talk too much about it and go too long over the time. I've seen that happen before. Of course you can if you can keep it within time, but I know I like to yap about the things that I like, so yeah, keep that in mind. 2, relate the subject directly to the audience. So you're going to want to make this relevant for your audience so that they pay attention, because people are egocentric, like we talked about in the last lecture. People like to learn things that have to do with them. So make it about them. 3, don't be too technical. Same with the first point. We want to keep terms simple. We don't want to, we don't want to just shout out a bunch of acronyms and numbers and things that people, they're going to be confused and then they're going to just stop listening. We don't want that. Avoid abstractions. So we want to do, we want to keep things factual. We don't want to kind of put our own, not spin, but we don't want to theorize too much. I know you can do it about theories, but we don't want to theorize too much. And then personalize your ideas. Make sure you do your speech on something that you do like. You don't have to have it your favorite, but something that you do like, because then it's going to be fun for you. You don't want it to be boring. So personalize your idea. So informative versus persuasive speaking. So right now we're doing the informative speech. In a few weeks we'll do the persuasive speech. So informative speeches is to reveal information. So we are teaching. We are giving information that people might not know. Persuasive urges a choice to be made. So that's where we advocate, or we tell people orange is the best color, and then you try to persuade people that orange is the best color. So right now we are not urging a choice to be made. We are just revealing information. We're just teaching. It's a lot like how I lecture. I teach you guys. I'm not telling you to, choose between informative or persuasive speaking. I'm just telling you about informative and persuasive speaking. So yeah, that is the lecture. If you have any questions, please let me know